My name's Noah Bennett, and I live in downtown Toronto, a city where parking is more expensive than some people's rent. If you've ever circled your block 10 times praying for a legal space, you know what I mean. A few months back, a man started showing up near my apartment complex, clipboard in hand, reflective vest, laminated ID clipped to his chest. He looked official, spoke official, and carried himself like he owned every car on the street. City's updating annual permits, he said. Old stickers expire next week. You can renew directly with me. $400, covers inspection and registration. He had a printed form, barcode, and what looked like a municipal seal. The first few people on my street paid him cash, relieved they didn't have to queue at the city hall. Then one morning, I saw my neighbor Tina handing him a thick envelope, $800 for her and her husband's cars. Something in my gut screamed that this wasn't right. Toronto's parking authority is infamous for red tape. Permits usually take 3 weeks to renew, and most people hate dealing with it. That's what made this scam genius. He wasn't forcing anyone, he was helping. Over a week, I noticed almost everyone on our street had the same new blue and white sticker on their windshields. Each one had a QR code and the same number pattern, number 47ALPHATOR. Except, official permits never repeat codes. When I tried scanning one with my phone, it didn't open the usual City of Toronto registration site. Instead, it led to a dead link, a private hosting domain. And that's when I knew we'd all been conned. I decided to play along. That night, I created a fake identity using an old work phone and a burner Gmail. michael.sutton.rental@gmail.com. I emailed him, pretending to be a new tenant, looking to register my car. He replied within an hour. "Hey Michael, I can sort that for you. Permit, inspection, and validation, $400 flat, cash or e-transfer. Meet me by the loading dock at 4:30 p.m. I agreed. Then I called my cousin Eli, a freelance filmmaker who owed me a few favors. We set up a GoPro inside my car's rearview mirror and a hidden mic in my jacket. The plan? Record everything. At exactly 4:28 p.m., he showed up. Short, muscular build, maybe mid-40 seconds, wearing a bright vest and carrying a binder full of forms. He introduced himself as Inspector L. Durant from the Toronto Municipal Permit Division. I handed him my fake papers, pretending to be clueless. He pulled out a pre-printed sticker, identical to the others. "This goes right here," he said, placing it on my windshield. "That'll be valid until December." I played dumb. "Can I get a receipt?" He smirked. "Sure, I'll email it from the office." That's when Eli, sitting in his car across the street, zoomed his camera lens. The entire exchange, the sticker, the payment, the bogus ID was caught in 4K. When I got home, I examined the QR code again. I extracted the embedded link. It redirected to permit-toronto-verify.com, hosted by a private server in Quebec. I used a public WHOIS lookup tool and found the domain was registered just 3 weeks ago under the name LD Urban Services. The initials matched. L. Durant. That was all I needed. I called the Toronto Parking Authority, pretending to be a resident verifying a code. Within minutes, the officer on the line confirmed. "That's a fake code. We've had at least 12 similar reports this month." 12 reports. And that was just the beginning. I gathered all the residents from my block. Tina, the single mom from next door. Marcus, the retired bus driver. Lydia, the college student. In total, 19 people had paid this man. We compared permits, and they were all identical. I showed them the footage I'd recorded. You could see Durant clearly taking cash, applying the sticker, and boasting about his inspection network. People were furious. We decided to go public, but not before giving him one last chance. We arranged another permit renewal session, with me acting as bait again. But this time, instead of cash, I brought marked bills and notified a friend at City News Toronto who agreed to shadow us with a small camera crew. When Durant arrived, I played along just like before. But as soon as he pocketed the money, the journalist stepped out with a mic. "Sir, Can you tell us which division of the city you work for? He froze. You could feel the panic in his eyes. Within seconds, he bolted right into the arms of a Toronto police officer who had been waiting nearby after we tipped them off earlier that day. They detained him on the spot. Turns out, Durant wasn't a city employee at all. His real name was Leonard Duval, a former meter reader who'd been fired 3 years ago for falsifying overtime records. After losing his job, he'd started forging city IDs and printing fake stickers. Each month, he'd make roughly $10,000 from unsuspecting car owners across multiple neighborhoods. My footage, combined with the residents' testimonies, became key evidence. Within weeks, Duval was charged with impersonation of a public officer, fraud over $5,000, and possession of forged documents. The city offered full refunds to all the victims after confirming the scam wasn't their fault. But the most satisfying part? They invited me to consult on improving the city's online permit verification process. I even got to name the internal project, Operation Authentic. Months later, my footage went viral after City News published a documentary titled The $400 Sticker Scam: How One Resident Exposed a Fake Parking Inspector. The video crossed 2 million views in 3 days, and the first comment under it said, "Justice is when the scammer gets ticketed in his own lane." If you live in any big city, here's what I learned. Scams don't always come from faraway emails or fake websites. Sometimes they wear high-visibility vests and smile in daylight. Durant thought he'd built a perfect operation. He forgot that in a city full of cameras, even ghosts leave evidence. So now, every time I walk past a parking inspector, I smile to myself, because I know somewhere out there, a scammer still sees my face on the evening news and panics.
Thank you for being here. If you enjoyed this, go watch the one on the left and don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel for more tales of triumph over injustice and a saga of ultimate revenge.